Hey everyone, my name is Reeves, and today we're going to talk about 6 types of interview scenarios that you should be prepared and to look out for. Number 1, the timed interview. Now most of us know that an interview is typically going to be held within a fixed period of time, and sometimes for some of us that can be unnerving, especially if you think you may need or expect more time. However, most people are aware that they're only going to be allowed a fixed amount of time without knowing what that amount of time is. Now, if you're lucky, your interviewer will tell you in advance how much time you have so you can mentally prepare for the time that you have. This way, you'll be able to ensure you manage the time effectively when you are giving the answers to the questions that are being asked of you. However, what would you do if the interviewer not only did not tell you how much time you had in advance, but also told you that you had a shorter amount of time than you originally thought you might have? If you find yourself faced with an interview that has a short time period, do not stress on the time. Focus on the presentation and presenting the best amount of information you can. If the interviewer cuts you off, just accept it. Trust me, if the interviewer wants you to finish, they will tell you. If you're in an interview with a short period of time and it ends up going longer than the time you had allotted, that may be a good sign that the interviewer was very interested in you and the things that you had to say. Number 2, the panel interview. Finding yourself being interviewed by different people with different questions and different expectations may truly make you feel different about the process. See, in this situation now, as opposed to being able to engage one person, you're dealing with 2 people or more, and you're having to split your energy between both of them. You have to keep eye contact and focus on more than one person. If the interviewers are asking questions and then taking a moment to write their notes in terms of your response, you may find yourself awkwardly trying to figure out where do you stare or who do you make eye contact when they're both with their heads down writing notes. I mean, you may also have difficulty evaluating body language and nonverbal cues because you're dealing with multiple interviewers who are asking you questions one right after the other. If you do not know going in if you're going to be interviewed by one person or a panel, take a notepad with you. There's nothing wrong with writing notes about what is being asked, but it's important to make sure you ask the interviewer if that's okay. So this way they'll let you know if you have to leave the pad there. Also, do not let the fact that there are more than one interviewer in the room throw you or make you feel like you're inadequate or throw you off your game. Remember, the more people you have in the room, the greater chance you have to shine in front of more than one person, and more than one person could lobby on your behalf. Number 3, the booklet interview. Now, if you're ever faced with an interviewer who comes in with a booklet to ask you questions, just be prepared to keep an open mind to things that you probably had no idea was coming at you. Booklet interviews are a way to streamline interviews. Every applicant gets asked the exact same question, and every interviewee has the ability to respond in kind. Unfortunately, you have no way of knowing what the interviewer is looking for, or more importantly, what is in that actual booklet that they're looking at. So you have no idea of what type of response you need to provide. Either way, just focusing on the answers of the questions from the booklet to the best of your ability is probably the only thing that you have available to you. And that's all you should focus on. Number 4, the cold, emotionless interview. Every interview should be an active engagement, but some interviews are not. This person, at least in your eyes, appears to be just either going through the motions of interviewing, they have no energy, they have no enthusiasm, they are just there. As such, you may struggle with figuring out the best way to engage them. You may worry that matching their energy may give the impression that you do not care. But then on the other hand, if you are overly enthusiastic about the opportunity to engage them, you may worry that you may come off seeming desperate. When given the opportunity to interview, make sure the interviewers see you so they can see what they may be getting. Do not let any interviewer's perceived lack of energy throw you off. So if they're not giving you that energy you're looking for, don't let it throw you off your game. Number 5, the hot rapid fire interview. If you find yourself in an interview where your interviewer is more energetic than you may be overwhelmed. If you're faced with an energetic interviewer, remember that you are in control of your own pace. Do not let yourself get rattled because the interviewer is trying to speed things up or redirect you quickly. And finally, number 6, the manner of the interview, whether it be virtual, phone, or in person. It's important to note that the manner of your interview may or may rattle you. Remember, the manner of the interview is not as important. It may be important to you, but in the grander scheme of things, it's not as important. Because what is important is that the interviewer wants to hear from you. It is your words that are important, not just the manner of the interview. Listen, from my point of view, interviews are a natural part of any application process. However, interviews do not have to feel unnatural. Remember, you're being interviewed because you have skills, abilities, insights, and experiences that the interviewer wants to hear. And it is those things that makes the difference and not the type of interview that you have.